Please prepare for teisho, sit comfortably facing the teacher. Okay. Gathan opening the sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning. Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to see new faces and old friends, and just how nice it is to be able to just be quiet together and enjoy our breath, enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's encouragement. It's really just such a precious, lovely, exquisite thing that we get to do. And so the best of humanity. So tonight we are continuing on with our grimoire, the book of magical antidotes to all of the samsaric bewilderments that befall us, all of the trances and the spells that we've been living under. And of course, the medicine is the koans that we're working on. So we're on the third koan tonight, and just to kind of give a quick recap, I don't think anyone's actually tried to do like thread the needle of all of the different koans, like sort of sequentially, because people say, oh, they're just sort of there kind of randomly, but I'm going to try and give us some sequential journey to at least the first three. We'll see what happens after that. So remember that Mu, the first koan that we work on, is really a quite thorough dive into the absolute, right? And we really comb through that with, I don't know, I think maybe it's a couple of hundred koans by the time you're actually into the second koan. And then the second koan is the fox koan. So just when we're feeling all free and oh my God, this is amazing, free of life and death, free of birth and death, free, we get confronted directly with the karmic reality that our body and our life actually is. And we work on this life of a fox that we all have. And remember, the reason why that's so important is that we're making our vow to be a bodhisattva in the world, to relieve the suffering of the world. So we're not in any way transcending all of the difficulty that our life brings with it. We're using all the ingredients, all the difficulty, all the strangeness to awaken, to enlighten, rather than just keep piling on the ball of samsaric mind that just keeps rolling on, right? So, the third koan is called Gutai's finger. And this is the case. Whatever he was asked about Zen, Master Gutai simply stuck up one finger. He had a young attendant whom a visitor asked, "What kind of teaching does your master give?" The young attendant held up one finger. Hearing of this, Gutai cut off the attendant's finger with a knife. As the attendant ran away, screaming with pain, Gutai called to them. When the attendant turned his head, Gutai stuck up one finger. The attendant was suddenly enlightened. When Gutai was about to die, he said to the assembled monks, "I received this one finger Zen from Tenryu. I've used it all my life, but have not exhausted it." Having said this, he entered nirvana. Mumon's commentary. The enlightenment of Gutai and the attendant have nothing to do with the tip of a finger. If you realize this, Tenryu, Gutai, the attendant, and you yourself are all run through with one skewer. The verse, old Tenryu made a fool of Gutai, who cut the attendant with a sharp blade. The mountain deity Korai raised their hand, and lo, without effort, great Mount Ka, with its many ridges, was split in two. So, lovely, lovely language. And wouldn't it be nice if you could just sort of sit here, enjoy your breath, and then just go home, call it a night? That was nice. Unfortunately, or fortunately actually, for us, in this practice, we actually have to dig in a little bit and answer some questions about our life. And honestly, we wouldn't want it any other way. Because how many places and how many teachings can you go to where the most important thing is truth and authenticity above all else, and asking for all of the masks to be seen as masks? And of course, our friend here, Zen Master Gutai, happened upon his attendant's mask. So let's go through it a little bit and see what we find for ourselves. So just to speak a little bit about Gutai, he studied for a long time, he practiced for a long time, and he had a really hard time coming to awakening. And he tried to practice by himself for a long time, kind of as a hermit. He kind of had that disposition. And apparently, after many years of practicing as a hermit, a teacher came by to kind of check on him, see what was going on, and circumambulated him 3 times and doffed his hat, and Gutai just kind of like sat there. And then the teacher gave him another chance, circumambulated 3 times and doffed their hat, and Gutai just sat there. And the teacher, of course, left, having tested the student. And really what was happening was Gutai was testing his own mind, his own heart, his own awakening. And he realized, oh man, I did not meet the moment very well right then. Something was not right. And he had the authenticity, that truth warrior in him, that he realized something's not right. I've got to find a teacher. This isn't working. And remember, Dogen says, when the Dharma fills your body and mind, you always feel there's something a little bit lacking. When the Dharma does not fill your body and mind, you think you've got it, right? There's always that right on the edge of the blue cliff, right? There's a whole book of koans about that called the Blue Cliff Record. And so much of our Zen training is getting really comfortable being on the edge of the blue cliff, leaping off, climbing back up, leaping off, climbing back up. Anyway, so he was ready to pack up his stuff in the hermitage, his bowl and his robes and maybe his little mat. They didn't have too much. And that night he had a dream that he should stay and someone was going to come and visit him. So he heeded this dream and he stayed. And within a few days, another teacher came by. And this teacher came up to him while he was sitting, and he just raised one finger. And when he raised that finger, Gutai had a really big awakening. Right? So when Gutai says, I've used this one finger Zen my whole life, he was referring to that moment with his teacher. And it seems like Gutai's sort of central, rub, problem, koan, is how to express his awakening, how to express the Dharma. And we all share in that. I certainly struggled with that one a lot myself, and I still do, actually. Because the words, the gestures, all have to be real, alive. In Zen, we have live words and gestures, and we have dead words and gestures. And believe me, you can see those dead words and gestures coming a mile away. And usually, if I'm in the Doksan room, I'll say something like, I think I'm really bored right now. Because there's no life, there's no spark, there's no truth. And we all know when we're like in the presence of dead words and somebody's shucking and jiving us, right? And God knows we don't want to keep on just shucking and jiving ourselves. Our life is so short. So anyway, that's a little bit of a background on Master Gutai. So let's look at the case. Whenever he was asked about Zen, Master Gutai simply stuck up one finger. Which, by the way, I so love this because, you don't have to say anything. He didn't say anything. All he did was go, and then get off the podium. I mean, how cool is that? I think you've heard my big fantasy, my big teaching fantasy is the story in the Avatamsaka Sutra where in some realm the bodhisattvas just line up people underneath the Bodhi tree and there's flowers on the Bodhi tree and they smell divine. And as soon as you sit under the tree, you're enlightened. So the only job the teacher has is to kind of line them up and send them to the tree. I like this very much. Anyway, so, I'm also a little chicken about just sitting up here and just going, I'm not sure it would even really fly today, right? I mean, would you still be sticking around if every time I got up here and went, probably not, right? Fortunately, expression of the Dharma happens in all ways. So, Gutai had an attendant whom a visitor asked, so what kind of teachings does your master give? So imagine if someone came into the temple and said, for the first time, so what's this all about? And let's see, something that Rinsen says all the time. Can't even think of anything right now. Well, I can think of something I used to say a lot. I haven't been saying it recently. It's like, warm-hearted spaciousness, right? It's all warm. We'll find the warm-hearted spaciousness. So if you were to say, Dawan teaches warm-hearted spaciousness, I would come over and do something to you. Perhaps pull your nose or something, I don't know. Interestingly enough, I had a student the other day come into the Dokusan room and say, you've been talking about that warm-hearted spaciousness for years, and I don't know what the hell you were talking about. And then they said, but I think I'm starting to feel a little something. It takes a while, right? And it has to be real. It has to be authentic. So, this attendant held up their finger because that's all Gutai was doing while he was teaching, right? Now, the attendant was being pretty honest, right? That is their teaching, his teaching. But hearing of this, Gutai cut off the attendant's finger with a knife. Of course, we all know why he would do such a thing, right? Because he was just imitating his teacher, right? And what's the point of that? I mean, like, in Zen, imitation is not the best form of flattery. In fact, it's like the worst form of flattery, because the whole point is that we actually become ourselves, our true, authentic, loving, wonderful, kind, delicious, super wise self, right? As the boy ran away, as the attendant ran away, screaming with pain, Gutai called out. When the attendant turned their head, Gutai stuck up one finger. Now, the attendant has just had their finger cut off, so they are like, right? Having a full-on experience, right? Full body, screaming in pain experience. At that moment, when they encountered the finger, they encountered the truth of their life. In that moment, perfect, complete, lacking nothing, in the midst of that scream, in the midst of that pain. And this is the true life. This is the true human condition. And this is where we have to just keep turning over and over and over again to the truth of the moment that we're in. Because samsaric mind wants to do everything it can to make it better, to fix it. This couldn't possibly be it. Not this, right? But the Dharma practice comes along and says, yes, this. Go deeper. Find the true heart of this moment. Find the love of this moment. Find the kindness of this moment. Find the eternity of this moment. Isn't that what we're doing over and over again, breath by breath by breath, in whatever karmic thought storm or body storm we happen to be in? When Gutai was about to die, he said to the assembled monks, I received this one-fingered Zen from Tenryu. I just explained that. I've used it all my life, but have not exhausted it. This is a beautiful, beautiful line. Because it's not really about the finger. It's about this inexhaustible life. This life that can't be given and can't be taken away. This is what we're practicing. At the same time that it is taken away and it is given. Both sides are true. I've used it all my life, but have not exhausted it. Having said this, he entered nirvana. Mumon's commentary. The enlightenment of Gutai and the attendant have nothing to do with the tip of a finger. If you realize this, Tenryu, Gutai, the attendant, and you yourself are all run through with one skewer. This one skewer, this one finger running through all of us. What is that? This is really what we're practicing, what we're getting used to, what we're realizing and actualizing and showing up as for the world, for ourselves, but most importantly for the world. We are moving around the world as this one skewer of a total awakening, total enlightenment. And it's so important that we're doing it together. Actually, I don't think it can be done alone. We really need each other. We need to, it's in conversation with each other. It's in living with each other. It's in making mistakes with each other. It's in getting it right with each other. That we really just polish each other into these really I guess people capable of breaking the spell of whatever holds us back from being more loving and more kind, and more gentle, and more clear-eyed, and more light, and with humor and delight, and a very palpable gravitas. Talk about wabi-sabi in Zen, having it, things be a little tilted, a little off, yet knowing and being the perfection of that. This is our life.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are inexhaustible, I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless, I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable, I vow to embody it. Thank you all for being here this evening. Do we have any announcements? Not this weekend, the weekend after, we have Shishir. I think I got it right this time. I believe open registration closes Friday, so if you need to register after Friday, please contact the registrar. Please restore the Zendo.